So I'm channeling this very like secretive, very, very, very smart collective. I don't know what this reading is really going to entail. I was literally laying on my couch and all of a sudden I'm like, I gotta do a reading. Like, it was literally like I just rolled up and I was like, let's do it. So if you relate to that, I feel like this reading is going to be for you. Again, I don't really know what this is about or where this is headed, but let's just pull cards and let's see what the message is. I don't know. Maybe people, ooh, Ace of Wands. Ooh, okay. And it's interesting because another thing that I was channeling is you make your moves in silence. Okay, I feel like this collective has you're very, very, very smart. I feel like it's the big things and the little things, but specifically kind of like the little things. I feel like you don't really let people know your next move. I feel like that doesn't always make sense, yet when people have the trust, or at least kind of like the, okay, let's just see, you always end up right. You always end up right in some way, shape, or form. Like, you're very, very, very smart. It's very hard to trick you. It's very hard to play you. It's like better just not try. I just paused it at 111, but it's kind of like Elle from Death Note is kind of who I'm channeling when I'm thinking about this. And I guess it could be light too, because, you know, like, yeah, no spoilers here, but it's more of like you play chess, not checkers. You are not only making moves for the now. I feel like a lot of people are very reactive and not proactive, and you're looking at things from multiple different angles, and then from there, those multiple different angles. Like, you're very, very, very calculated. You're very, very, very intelligent. And again, you know that people might make different decisions, but I feel like intuitively, you know how people act, so you kind of already know what decision they're going to make anyways. But again, you account for all possible reactions or responses. You could be very, very, very good at stalking people on social media. I don't know why that's coming through, but I feel like you can find people with little to no information. I feel like you can find maybe like more secretive things. I don't know. There's something with, maybe you're just really good with like computers or some like just software. I don't know what it is, but I can't say too much, but I feel like if you know, you know. I love that I went from not knowing what this reading was going to be about at all to pulling one card to being like, okay, yeah, I understand. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs can be significant too. I got Roku City going on, and I don't know why that just caught my attention, but it did. Again, weird kind of oddball people, but in like the best way possible, right? Like, ooh, the Empress. Okay. See, that's what I'm saying, is that intuition plays a role so heavily in your life. And again, what I was talking about with the idea of playing chess, not checkers, with the Nine of Swords and the reversal coming out, it's like you came from a place of reactivity and not proactivity. And so you know what it's like to not have a backup plan and kind of like fall through the cracks and feel really alone and really just like, oh, like very frantic, very, very, very confused. And with the Empress coming out, again, that intuition. You have a spot on intuition. You know what people are going to do. It's like you can meet someone for the first time, and without them proving anything to you, you can pretty much read them as a person. You can pretty much tell how they're going to respond to things, how they're going to act. You might not have the exact script, but because you know how they operate and what their kind of brain portrays things to be, you're ready for that response. You're ready. Like, again, I feel like you are not wrong very often. And I feel like it kind of makes people a little bit ticked, because again, I do feel like sometimes people doubt you, or people think that it's an insane assumption or an insane idea, and then it happens and you were right all along, even if it made absolutely no sense. It's because your intuition, it knows, and it does not lie to you. And you have called out a way to really, really utilize that. And it combined with your already existing intelligence, it's really, really powerful. It's very, very powerful. But yeah, it's just you magnetize people, yet you confuse them. I feel like the Sun, I feel like with this too, there's some sort of like kind of almost I'm hearing poetic vengeance. Not poetic justice, poetic vengeance. I have no idea. But I do feel like there were certain people that did you wrong in your childhood, or maybe you just, yeah, I feel like something happened in your childhood. And I feel like you kind of like swore to make sure that didn't happen to you again, or like other people even. And so when people disrupt the system, when people are just not doing what they're supposed to do, that really like ticks you off. And it was funny because I paused there for a second because I'm getting those videos of like when people go into Walmart and they're trying to catch like child predators, and it's like they don't even call the cops anymore, they just start beating on them. That's what I was kind of envisioning. So maybe that's something you're an activist in some way, shape, or form. I don't really know. And I don't know why I just said it like that either, because like if you're not an activist for that, or for not doing that, then you're kind of weird. But I don't know why do I feel like I'm like word vomiting all of a sudden? Goodness. Anyways, Three of Pentacles, Strength, Princess of Swords, and Queen of Swords. Yeah, you're not one to mess with. You're not one to mess with, because with the Three of Pentacles and the Strength card coming out, it's like you have spent so much time, so much time practicing. You're not one of those people who you don't get it right the first time or the 10th time or the 100th time. You're not one to just like throw. You're like, that actually kind of fuels your fire a little bit more when people say you can't do something, or when you initially can't. You really want to prove people and yourself wrong. You really want to go after. So it's like, of course you're in this Queen and Princess of Swords energy. Of course you're in your boss energy, because you deserve to be. You have worked to that level of status. You have worked to that level of responsibility, and truly and ultimately, like, what you say is word. Like, your word is your truth. You don't lie. I feel like you don't lie in important regards. I feel like you would lie to help people. Again, with this like kind of detective work, to save people, to help people. You would, but ultimately you're not a liar. There's a big difference in that. You know how to manipulate when manipulation is required, but that's not how you ultimately kind of live your life, if that makes sense. So yeah, confusing, but we're gonna end it on that.